Hi, you guys, Erin here. Today's video is about the upcoming full moon on February 27th of 2021. This full moon takes place at 12:17 a.m. Pacific time. Now, it is important to pay attention to what time these, moon cycles take place, new moons and full moons, because it's really ideal to set our intentions or pull out our journals the night before or hours leading up to this full moon. So you might, depending on where you're at in the world, you might want to look up to see exactly what time this full moon takes place for you. So this full moon is in the sign of Virgo, almost 9 degrees Virgo. It's actually 8 degrees and 57 minutes Virgo. And so it's also very beneficial to know where 8 degrees Virgo is in your natal chart. I'm offering just quick, brief little readings to figure out where these new moons or full moons take place in your natal chart. It just take about 15 minutes or so, and just for $22. So if you would like to find out exactly where any new moon or full moon manifests for you in your own natal chart, go ahead and reach out to me at erinwageastrology@gmail.com, or you can just check out my website at erinwageastrology.com. Okay, so full moons, they represent a lot of different things, but what this is about is the moon is the mother of the heavens, and she rules our moods and our emotions and our intuition. Okay, so when she is bright and in her fullest form, our emotions and our intuition can actually be very heightened. And not only that, but we can also have a tendency to feel the emotions of others. This moon energy is very connected to feelings. Okay, so we become a little bit sensitive or easily influenced by the feelings of others during a full moon. Now, it's also important to note that we all experience this differently because it all depends on our own natal chart and transits that we're currently experiencing. Say somebody who was born with the moon in Capricorn is definitely going to experience full moons differently than somebody who was born, say, with their moon in Gemini. Okay, so that's another thing that's important to note. Now, also with full moons, it's like we tend to operate, this is one of the real good benefits about a full moon. We tend to operate with a little more clarity or lucidity rather than, functioning just on blind faith. So that's, something to be taken advantage of. Now, also with full moons, really what it is, it's like the peak of the growth cycle from 6 months ago when we had a new moon in the sign of Virgo, which was September 17th of 2020. So to think about how we have grown, especially, associated with areas of our life that have to do with that Virgoan energy over these last 6 months. Okay, so the sign of Virgo. Virgo is a very, very friendly energy. It's associated with health and being of service. It's very much about harvest season or harvesting the fruits of the material world. It's got a lot to do with purification and perfectionist energy. It's symbolized or represented by the Virgin. Okay, the Virgin is about purity and wanting things to be perfect. And as a farmer, I really understand this energy as, when I planted something from seed and it's grown into this, big fruit tree, or even, just tomatoes. A lot of people grow tomatoes. If you grew that from seed, or even if you just grew it from a little starter, from a, plant store, to watch that plant grow and then to see the first tomato, it's like every day going out there looking at it, like, is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? And being very analytical and contemplative on whether or not I should pick that tomato quite yet, or if I should wait till tomorrow. That's very much the Virgoan energy, paying very close attention to detail. So that's the influence of the Virgoan energy. People who have, say a lot of Virgo in their natal chart, or if their sun is in Virgo, depending on how it's aspected, these people tend to think about their health a lot. Or, sometimes they can have really, really good health, again, depending on how their sun is aspected, or, sometimes deal with like health issues and that sort of thing. This sign is associated with health. These people also tend to be really good at being of service, going to work, showing up on time, again, paying attention to detail, really good workers. I remember I worked on a farm with a lady years ago who had, she was a Virgo, but also had a total of 7 significant celestial bodies in her natal chart in the sign of Virgo. And man, this woman, she could just work. She showed up on time every single day. She had everything. She had her own tools for working on the farm. She was just absolutely the very much the Virgoan energy. I wish I could just have a picture of her with all her tools and everything to show people this is Virgo energy. And she was also really good at working with harvest season and so on and so forth. Okay, so you get the gist of the Virgoan energy. Now, going back to that, the 6-month cycle, going back to September 17th. In fact, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to share my screen with you and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so we are looking at, this is for February 27th, 2021 at 12:17 a.m. Pacific time. So when we have a full moon, what happens is the moon, here's the symbol for the moon, is opposite the sun. Here's the sun, okay? So here's the moon at 8 degrees. This right here is the symbol for the sign of Virgo. If you're looking at this on a phone, there's probably no way you can be able to make out that symbol. It's also right here. Maybe you can see that one a little bit bigger, but this is the symbol for the sign of Virgo. So this is 8 degrees Virgo, 57 minutes. Now, Pisces is always opposite Virgo. They're opposite sides of the zodiac. And so here's the sun at 8 degrees Pisces and 57 minutes. And that's how we have a full moon. And that's how we always can tell which sign the full moon is going to take place, is by just knowing what astrological season it is. We will be in Pisces season for this full moon. Opposite Pisces is Virgo. So then we're going to have the full moon in the sign of Virgo. Now, if I take this software, by the way, I'm working with something called iEphemeris, which is a very affordable software. And I like to work with it when I'm, making these videos of showing people things, because it can kind of, if you pay very close attention or watch enough of my videos, you can get an idea as to how the sky clock works when I'm using this software. Okay, so we're going back to September 17th. I believe that's when it was. I think it was around 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, did I get that right? I did. Okay, so here is the sun right here at 25 degrees Virgo. Here's the moon right here at 25 degrees Virgo. This was the new moon in the sign of Virgo. What happens with the new moon is the sun and moon are right next to each other. So that's new moon. And over the, from September 17th, I'm pointing my computer as if you guys can see what I'm pointing to. September 17th, if I move forward those 6 months again, the sun is going to move through one zodiac sign per month. So 6 months later, the sun moves from the sign of Virgo over to the sign of Pisces. Okay, so the sun has moved halfway through the zodiac. That's 6 signs. Okay, and let's go back to February 27th. At 12:17 a.m. Okay, so again, now here's the sun in Pisces, and the sky clock moves. I understand that the sign of Virgo was over here before, because the sky clock, the actual zodiac, moves. But regardless, we can see here's the sign of Pisces. So the sun is at 8 degrees Pisces, and here's the sign of Virgo. And in that 6 months, while the sun is only transited through 6 signs, the moon is actually transited around the zodiac 6 times. For the sixth time, it lands back in the sign of Virgo for the full moon in Virgo. Okay, so that 6 months is our growth cycle that has to do with the Virgoan energy. So if we go back to September, whether we, have written in our journals, or we're just going back, through our consciousness and remembering or thinking back to how have we grown in areas of our life that have to do with this Virgoan energy. And that's how we use the moon cycles. And that's how we can benefit so greatly from, I remember I've actually got it in my journal. I've actually got it in my, posts online, how I set my intention for certain health protocols in my area of growth, over these next 6 months that have to do with that Virgoan energy. So this full moon in Virgo, let's say you have no idea how you've grown. this is a time to take advantage of that and really set your intention, like, okay, so I don't know how I've grown. I mean, I think most people can probably remember a little bit how they have grown in ways that have to do with health or being of service over the last 6 months. But thinking about gratitude for acknowledging that. And we're going to have a new moon coming up in March again. I'll make another video for that. And that's when we set intentions for new moons, new energies again. That will have to do with the sign of Pisces. Now, I guess real briefly, I will show you, I'll just pull up my own natal chart and show you how to find this in your own natal chart if you are a little bit of an advanced, if you've been looking at astrology for a little while. So this is my natal chart, and I'm actually looking, this is the whole sign format. I'm going to show you Placidus and again in a minute too. So here's that symbol for the sign of Virgo in my natal chart using a whole sign chart. So this full moon manifests in my 10th house. 10th house has to do with career and public life. So this energy of being of service and having to do with health manifests through this 10th house, career and public life. I'm associating all, it manifests through, really showing you guys this kind of information. Now, one more thing, I don't mean to throw anybody off. And if you're, hopefully you're still with me. I'm also going to look at the Placidus format because it's really ideal to use both. It really is. I'm becoming more and more convinced of that every day. So when I change this to a Placidus format, the symbol for the sign of Virgo is actually in my 9th house, which is the house of higher learning and advanced knowledge. So recognizing all of this, taking all of this in, is how we use astrology to our advantage. Now, some of you may know that I really like to work with stones. I really like to work with gemstones, especially when it comes to my moon rituals. And I like to use stones that resonate well with the sign in which the moon is in. Okay, so let's see, the Virgo energy, the zodiacal birthstone for Virgo is sapphire, and I've got this teeny little tiny piece of sapphire here. Sapphire is usually a very blue stone. It's not always clear like this. Sometimes raw pieces can be, I forget, I think it's called opaque, but it's regardless, this is Virgo's birthstone. And what this can do is actually help to, especially when we're using it when the moon is in the sign of Virgo, can bring tranquility to the mind. Virgo energy can create a very busy mind. It's ruled by Mercury. But not everybody has a sapphire and not everybody wants to have a sapphire. So there's plenty of other stones that resonate very well with the Virgoan energy. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in the description of this post, I will put an entire list of stones that resonate well with the Virgo energy. And my reference book is right here. I'll show you guys. I generally use the Encyclopedia of Crystals by Judy Hall. And I also, this book right here has got a little bit about the birthstones. This is, you can see my book is just falling apart. This is my favorite astrology book. It's called The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need by Joanna Woolfolk. And this, I've had this for years. And like I said, it's falling apart because I use it so much. Both really great books for astrology and working with stones. So some stones that also resonate very, very well, that are more common. A lot of people will have these stones. This maybe not be super common. This right here is really a special one to me. For those of you who've been following my videos for a while, I'm sure you might be familiar with that. I am very attached to black tourmaline for protection. I am a Pisces with a Cancer moon, so I have a strong tendency to feel the emotions of others, and this black tourmaline really tends to help with that. Green tourmaline does as well, and unfortunately you won't be able to make out the greenness in it. If you see it in the light, it is just absolutely stunning. So green tourmaline is one that resonates very well with the Virgoan energy and is also it's protective. It protects against feeling the emotions of others, which can definitely happen when we have a full moon. Another one that resonates very well with Virgo energy is snowflake obsidian. This is another one that's very protective, especially against like electronics and that sort of thing. Any obsidian is really protective, but the snowflake obsidian specifically resonates very, very well with the Virgoan energy. Also, garnet resonates very well with the Virgo energy. One that might be a little bit common as well is smoky amethyst. Now, amethyst generally is more associated with Aquarius energy. It can also work well with Pisces energy, but specifically smoky amethyst is definitely a Virgoan stone. Let's see here. Some other ones that might be familiar to people are agate. Okay. Really, like any green agate resonates very well with the Virgoan energy. This is moss agate. And then green agate comes in so many different, styles. It's just, depending on where it's coming from, it's just going to look a little different. This is another green agate. This one is called, well, this one's called a tree agate. Might be hard to see, but this little part in here is green. Okay. Then this is another green agate. I mean, there's so many, it comes in so many different styles, but if it's agate and it's green, it's going to resonate well with the Virgoan energy. Let's see here. Another one is peridot, sometimes pronounced peridot. I believe the original pronunciation is Latin and is peridot. But that's another green stone, super pretty stone. So there's so many stones that you can use. And if you don't have any of these stones, it's totally okay. As long as you're just paying attention to these things, that's where these celestial energies can really start to benefit you, in all aspects of your life. If you're paying attention to these things before, I had this many stones and I was just paying attention to the moon and appreciating moon cycles. Like I've said in other videos, I honestly started with just getting a rock that I thought was very pretty outside. I just found a rock outside that I thought was pretty. And I understand that all rocks are going to be grounding to a certain degree because they're coming from Earth. It is important to stay grounded when we're having any sort of moon ritual because we're receiving those energies from the heavens. We want to be receiving energies from the earth as well. It's like we are a battery and we need the positive and the negative sides of things to really have things function properly. Okay, so let's see here. Also, Virgo rules the nervous system and the intestines. I like to pay a little extra attention to the parts of my body that are ruled by the sign that moon is in. So let's see here for the intestines. People who are Virgo, depending again on how their sun is aspected, can tend to have like nervousness, and a lot of that comes from the intestines. It is the best idea ever to keep your intestines clean. And my favorite herbs for doing this gently, like to start out, if you're not somebody who's used to doing cleanses and that sort of thing, marshmallow root and chamomile tea, also calendula tea. Those three are very gentle and very cleansing for the intestines, and that will actually help your nervous system as well. Now I have to show you guys this. This stuff, it's, oh boy, is the camera gonna pick it up? The package is a little funky here because I've just been using the heck out of it. Superhero Protection Shield. This stuff has been amazing for my nervous system. It's got three little, they're flower essences, and it's got three like little tinctures in here: nerve relaxer, savior, and nerve purifier. Okay. So you can see in here, I will put a link on where to find this stuff online. This has been, if you are anybody who deals with nervous system issues, this stuff has just been absolutely phenomenal. I also work very closely with cannabis and even just CBDs, the non-psychoactive components, and working with, it doesn't have to be, when I say non-psychoactive, what I'm talking about is the stuff that doesn't get you high, but I'm talking about cannabis that's got very low THC. That's the stuff that's going to, make you high. If you like to get high, then you would want the high THC. But if you're just looking for something to calm the nerves, a great CBD product, I mean, well, any high quality CBD product is going to be very beneficial for your nervous system. So, okay, I'm going to leave it at that. And again, if you would like to schedule an astrology reading with me, visit erinwageastrology.com. That's ERINWAAGE, or send me an email at erinwageastrology@gmail.com. I offer several different types of readings. But again, if you're just trying to figure out the moon cycle thing, you kind of want to get into this, I'm telling you, it's a game changer. It is extremely powerful way to, start manifesting things in your life, working with moon cycles. So again, I'm offering, if you just want to understand where these moon cycles are manifesting for you in your natal chart, $22 for it'd be anywhere between a 10 and 15-minute reading, quick little reading. And again, it's a game changer, extremely helpful. So thanks for watching, guys. And until next time, namaste to all of you.